Many European leaders have raised concerns about Ursula von der Leyen. The former president of the European Council, Charles Michel, reportedly described her leadership style as very authoritarian. Others have spoken out about her centralization, her overreach, and even her presidential control of the Commission. But all of this sounds a bit exaggerated, doesn't it? The European Union's Commission is not led by a power-hungry authoritarian, is it? Let's examine some trends and see what von der Leyen is actually doing. Hello, I'm Michael. This is Southern Realism, a channel about power, geopolitics, and decline. The EU is moving to collect its own taxes, so it doesn't have to rely on national governments for funding. But that's not a meaningful shift in power. And von der Leyen supports efforts to strip away national veto power on key decisions. But that's just streamlining things. She also supports creating a European army. But that's just for defensive cooperation, nothing unusual about that. And she introduced plans for an EU digital ID tied to access to internet services. But that's just for verification, probably not a threat to your liberty. Brussels keeps expanding its control over energy, digital systems, and migration. But all of this is fairly routine. And when countries try to control their borders or resist the settlement of refugees in their country, they get hit with financial sanctions. But that's just part of the democratic process, right? Now, some EU officials have raised concerns. The former EU Internal Market Commissioner, Thierry Breton, criticized von der Leyen's governance. The former EU High Representative for Foreign Affairs, Joseph Borrell, warned about her overreach. The former EU Brexit negotiator, Michel Barnier, has spoken about her authoritarian drift. The former European Commissioner, Nicolas Schmit, criticized her centralized style of leadership. But all of these are nobodies, right? Probably not worth paying attention to. Now, there are some more dramatic descriptions. The EU's current foreign policy chief, Kaja Kallas, reportedly described her as acting like a dictator in internal disputes. But again, she's nobody, and this is probably just rhetoric, right? Now, of course, each step comes with an explanation, a crisis, a necessity, a technical adjustment. So there's likely no broader pattern here. After all, power doesn't gradually centralize through small, justified steps over time. That's not how political systems usually work. So all of this is probably a lot about nothing. Europe definitely doesn't have a power-hungry leader who is centralizing control over most of the continent. Now, Ursula von der Leyen is definitely not becoming Europe's dictator. Right?